Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the House. On the east side of Iowa City, there's an elementary school named for a phenomenal African-American woman. She changed my community. Her name was Helen Lemme, and she was born in Grinnell, Iowa on February 25th, 1904. Every year on her birthday, the students at Lemme Elementary honor Ma Lemme by inviting members of the community to come to their school and tell stories about this remarkable woman. Helen was named Iowa City's first Woman of the Year in 1955, and she was the first woman in Iowa City School District to have a school named after her. That year was 1970. Helen was a wife, a mother, a mentor, and a friend. Helen's son, Paul, stated, "How would you react if you simply went through life doing what you thought needed to be done, and then found out later that others were grateful for your efforts?" Paul, we are truly grateful for your mother's efforts. So who was Helen Lemme, and why did the people in Iowa City name a school after her? Well, she was the valedictorian of her high school class in Grinnell. She attended the University of Iowa, graduating in 1928. She worked as a research technician at the University of Iowa College of Medicine. And all of those accomplishments are phenomenal in themselves, but what she was especially known for and what set her apart was her community activism and her overwhelming need to help others. So that philosophy led to her opening her home, she and her husband, to black students who attended the University of Iowa. Because in the 1940s, black students could attend the university, but they couldn't live in the dorms. Segregation still existed, and Helen knew without a home, many of those students would never be able to graduate. So she opened her 5-bedroom home to black students and black athletes that were going to school at the University of Iowa. Helen's home must have been phenomenal. I wish I could have been there. They talked about how full of people and conversation and music that home was. They talked about how Helen provided meals for everybody and anybody who came to her door, and that oftentimes there were dances and parties in her basement. Now, the university still had segregated dances at that time, so the black students were not able to attend those parties. But that didn't stop Helen from having them in her home, and she actually had Duke Ellington come and do an all-night party for the students one night after he had performed in a downtown nightclub. Helen also owned another building behind her home, and it was called the Annex, and she provided room and board for those young men and women as well. They lived there and went to school at the university. Helen was also a very active member in our community and a leader. She was involved in the YMCA, Girl Scouts, the Iowa City Area Council of Churches, the Johnson County Advisory Board on HACAP, the president of the Iowa City League of Women Voters. And she was on the first Iowa City Human Relations Commission. Helen was active in the Johnson County Democrats and was a member of the Democratic Black Caucus. She also advocated for greater representation of black voters at the 1944 Democratic National Convention in Chicago. She was inducted into the University of Iowa's Black Alumni Association Hall of Honors in 1993, and in 1984, the University of Iowa African American graduate students founded the Helen Lemme Reading Club. Its purpose is to serve as both a forum for African Americans to discuss literature by or about African Americans, and a support group for African American students living in a predominantly white community. Delta Sigma Theta sorority established a scholarship in Helen's name. Many African American students have benefited from this fund over the years. On December 15, 1968, Helen left this world, gone but never forgotten. And I want to share with you a little quote from the Lemme Leopards. They're the students at Lemme Elementary who celebrate Helen's life and all of the accomplishments she had during that life. So this is called the Heart of Lemme Leopards. The heart of a Lemme Leopard: I am important, I am a winner, I am respectful to others, I know that everyone is a little different, and that's okay. I will do my part to make sure that everyone has a safe and happy day. I will make the choice to do right, and I will make a difference in the world. I am a Lemme Leopard. I like to think that Helen would be proud of the students that bear her name. I think she would like the verse, "The Heart of a Lemme Leopard," especially the lines, "I will make the choice to do right, and I will make a difference in the world." Helen, you definitely made a difference in the world, and you are still making a difference today. Thank you, Madam Speaker.